Hey everyone, welcome back to the deep dive. We're all about getting you up to speed, like quickly and without all the fluff. No endless scrolling, no information overload, just the good stuff. Today we're going to zero in on something that's been generating a lot of buzz lately. It's becoming a virtual assistant.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's talking about it these days.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually found this really insightful article that was published just yesterday, April 2nd, 2025, over at blogwidow.com. And it kind of walks you through all the practical steps to becoming a virtual assistant, or VA for short.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because, as more businesses move online, there's a growing need for that reliable remote support. And this Blog Widow article really emphasizes the freedom that comes with being a VA. You can work from anywhere, set your own hours, and potentially earn a really good income. So our mission today is to really break down the key points of this article, extract those essential steps, and help you figure out if becoming a VA is something that you should explore. So where this Blog Widow article really starts is by explaining what exactly a virtual assistant does.
And that's a great place to start because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what a VA actually is. I mean, is it just like an online secretary? Is it more than that? So it's great that they clarify that right from the beginning.
Yeah, and the article actually does a really good job of highlighting the different roles that a VA can take on. I mean, it's not just about scheduling appointments and answering emails anymore, although those things are definitely still part of it,
Yeah,
but it's become so much broader.
well, it's a much wider scope now.
Yeah, exactly. So they break down the main areas into, you've got your administrative tasks like scheduling, emails, and of course, data entry, which is, seems like it's always
It's
there.
always there, right?
Always there. Then you move into things like social media management, which, it's not just about posting a few things on Facebook. It's about creating a strategy, engaging with your audience, really building a presence.
Right, it's a whole skill set in itself.
It is. And then another big area is customer service, which is all about keeping clients happy and making sure their customers are happy, through effective communication and problem solving.
Right, that communication piece is key. You're the front line for the business in a lot of ways.
You are, you are. And then it gets even more interesting because the article also mentions bookkeeping. Keeping the financial side of things in order, project management, which is all about keeping initiatives on track and making sure things get done on time, and then even creative services like graphic design and content creation.
Wow, so really a wide range there. I mean, that's everything from very left-brained analytical stuff to really right-brained creative stuff.
It is. And I think what's really neat is that the Blog Widow article gives this really nice example. They say, imagine a VA supporting an e-commerce business. They might be creating social media posts, answering customer questions about orders, and then also managing the owner's busy calendar. So it
Mhm.
really shows you how diverse the role can be.
So it's not just like one thing. It could be a combination of different things depending on your skill set and what the client needs.
Exactly. And the article emphasizes, understanding the scope is crucial for figuring out where your strengths lie and the types of clients that you'd be best suited to work with. So I think that's a great takeaway. What kind of impact do you want to make as a VA?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not just about what the job is, but what you're good at and what you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. So once you have a better grasp on the possibilities, the next step is to really look inward. Step two is all about assessing your skills and deciding which services you're actually going to offer. So it's time for some honest self-evaluation.
Yeah, it's time to take stock of what you're bringing to the table. And I think a lot of people underestimate the skills they already have. So really thinking about, what are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? That's really important.
Absolutely. And the Blog Widow article frames it as, what comes naturally to you? Are you someone who loves organizing? Do you thrive on details? Or are you more creative? Do you enjoy solving problems, coming up with new ideas? And they really stress that recognizing your strengths is essential for carving out your niche as a VA. It lets you focus on what you do best and offer genuine value to your clients.
Right. I mean, it's like any business, you want to play to your strengths. And if you're doing something you enjoy, you're going to be more successful at it.
Exactly. And I think that's a really important point. Now, what if there are areas where you feel like, okay, I need to maybe brush up on some skills or learn something new? The article talks about that too, the idea of expanding your skill set.
Yeah, I was interested in that part. Because technology changes so fast, and there are always new tools and platforms coming out. So how do you stay ahead of the curve?
Well, that's where, they talk about platforms like Udemy, Coursera, and Skillshare. These are online learning platforms where you can take courses in pretty much anything.
Oh, yeah, I've used those before. They're great.
Yeah, and they're really affordable and they're very flexible, so you can learn at your own pace. And the article suggests, if you see a strong demand for a particular service, like managing online advertising campaigns or maybe implementing customer relationship management systems, which are, becoming very popular, you don't have to shy away from it just because you don't have those skills right now. You can invest in learning those skills and make yourself more marketable.
That's encouraging. So it's not like you have to be an expert in everything from day one.
Right.
You can learn and grow as you go.
Exactly. And I think the article does a great job of giving some really concrete examples of how your current skills can translate into VA services. So, for instance, if you've always been really good with people, maybe you love interacting with customers, managing customer inquiries, or handling online returns could be a natural fit.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. And if you're the person that all your friends go to for tech help, maybe you're really good at troubleshooting, you could offer services like setting up email automation sequences or maybe streamlining online workflows for businesses. I mean, those are valuable
Yeah,
skills.
definitely. And I think a lot of people don't even realize that those are things that businesses need help with. They think it's just like, answering the phone and stuff. But there's so much more to it.
There is, there
Yeah.
is. So it's about identifying that intersection between your skills and what businesses actually need, and then being proactive about learning new things as the online world changes, because it changes so fast.
Right. You have to be adaptable.
We do. All right, so you've got a grasp on your skills. You've maybe taken some courses to brush up or learn something new. Now, step 3 is getting practical. It's about setting up your workspace and getting the essential tools in place. Because, we're going to be working remotely.
Right. So you got to create that professional environment, even if it's in your own home.
Exactly. And the article makes it clear that you need a dedicated workspace, someplace that's organized where you can focus, and of course, a reliable computer and high-speed internet are non-negotiable. I mean, imagine trying to do video calls with clients and your internet keeps dropping out. Not a good look.
No, not at all.
Not professional. So those are the basics, but then it goes beyond the physical stuff and talks about the digital tools that are really essential for VAs. And, communication platforms are at the top of the list. Things like Slack, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. These are your virtual meeting rooms, your way to stay in constant contact with clients.
Right. I mean, that's how you build relationships and make sure everyone's on the same page when you're not physically in the same office.
Exactly. It's the glue that holds everything together. Then the article talks about project management software, which I think is so crucial. Things like Asana, Trello, ClickUp. These are great for keeping tasks organized, tracking progress, making sure deadlines are met. I mean, I know so many businesses that rely on these tools.
Yeah, they can be lifesavers, especially when you're juggling multiple projects and clients.
Absolutely, they're vital. And then you have file sharing solutions like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. These are essential for collaborating on documents and easily exchanging information with clients.
Makes sense. You need a secure and reliable way to share files back and forth.
You do. And then finally, time management tools like Toggle or Clockify. I mean, if you're working on an hourly basis, these are really important for tracking your billable hours accurately and making sure you're getting paid fairly for your time and effort.
Right, because your time is valuable. You don't want to be underselling yourself.
You don't. And I think the article gives a really cool example. They talked about a content-focused VA who might be using Google Docs to write, Canva to create visuals, and then a platform like Hootsuite to schedule social media posts. So it really shows you how these different tools can integrate into a streamlined workflow, and boost your productivity and professionalism.
Yeah, it's all about working smarter, not harder,
Yep.
right? Using the right tools can make a huge difference.
It really can. All right, so you know your skills, you've got your tech setup sorted. Now, the big question is, how do you determine what you're worth? Step 4 is all about defining your pricing structure.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little tricky, right? Because you don't want to price yourself out of the market, but you also don't want to undervalue your services.
Exactly. And the Blog Widow article highlights a few key factors that are going to influence your pricing. First, it's your experience level. If you're just starting out, you might set a more competitive rate to attract those initial clients and build up your portfolio.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Get your foot in the door, get some experience under your belt, and then you can adjust your rates later.
Exactly. The second factor is the specific services you're offering. Specialized skills often command a higher price. So if you're doing something that's in high demand and not a lot of people can do it, you can charge more.
Makes sense. Supply and demand, right?
Exactly. And then the third factor is the industry you're targeting. Some industries are just willing to pay more for VA services, like maybe legal or financial services, where accuracy and specialized knowledge are really critical.
Right, because the stakes are higher in those industries, so they're willing to pay more for someone they trust.
Exactly. And in terms of how you structure your fees, the article talks about two main models: hourly rates and project-based pricing.
So you can either charge by the hour, or you can charge a flat fee for a whole project.
Exactly. And the choice really depends on your preference, your services, and what your clients are comfortable with. And the article also recommends doing some market research, see what other VAs with similar skills and experience are charging. So you can position yourself competitively while still valuing your own worth.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's like you don't want to be the cheapest, but you also don't want to be the most expensive. You want to find that sweet spot.
Exactly. And the Blog Widow article actually gives some helpful benchmarks. They say, basic administrative services might be priced in the $20 to $30 per hour range, while more specialized skills like SEO or social media strategy could go for $50 to $75 per hour or even higher.
So there's definitely potential to earn a good income.
There is. So you figured out your pricing. Now, how do you actually get clients to know you exist? Step 5 is all about creating an online presence and marketing your services.
Yeah, because if you build it, they won't necessarily come. You've got to get the word out.
You do. And the article really emphasizes the importance of being visible online, especially in today's digital world. Building a professional website or an online portfolio is key. That's your digital storefront. It's where you showcase your skills, list your services, and include testimonials from happy clients.
Testimonials are huge.
Okay.
People want to see social proof that you can deliver.
Absolutely. And they're incredibly persuasive. The article also recommends using LinkedIn strategically for networking and marketing your services. Connect with potential clients, join relevant groups, participate in discussions, really build your professional network.
Makes sense. That's like the professional version of social media.
It is. And then for reaching a wider audience, especially when you're starting out, they highlight freelancing platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer. These are great for finding those initial projects and building up your portfolio.
Yeah, I've heard good things about those platforms. They can be a good way to get started and build your reputation.
They can be. And I love the example that the Blog Widow article gives of an effective portfolio website. They say, clearly outline your services, use case studies to demonstrate the impact you've had for past clients, include a compelling about me section that highlights your expertise and your personality, and even consider adding a blog, share your insights, your knowledge, become a thought leader in your niche.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It establishes credibility and shows that you're passionate about what you do.
It does. All right, you've got your online presence set up, you're out there marketing yourself. Now, step 6 is about actually finding clients and building those crucial relationships. And I think landing those first few clients can often feel like the biggest hurdle.
It can be daunting, especially when
Correct.
you're just starting out and don't have a ton of experience yet.
It is. But the article offers some good advice. They suggest starting by leveraging your existing network. Let your friends, family, former colleagues know what you're doing. You might be surprised by who needs your services or who knows someone who does.
Yeah, word of mouth is powerful. And those personal connections can really help open doors.
They can. And of course, as we mentioned before, those freelancing platforms can be great for finding those initial projects. But once you do secure a client, the focus shifts to building that relationship.
Right, because it's not just a one-off transaction.
Yeah.
You want to build long-term relationships that are mutually beneficial.
Absolutely. And the Blog Widow article emphasizes the importance of clear and consistent communication. Keep your clients informed, respond to their inquiries promptly, be reliable, meet your deadlines, and of course, deliver high-quality work that exceeds their expectations. I mean, that's how you build trust and get repeat business.
And referrals, right. Happy clients are your best advocates. They'll tell their friends and colleagues about you.
Exactly. The article gives a really nice example. They talk about proactive communication, providing regular updates on project milestones, always meeting deadlines, and not being afraid to ask for testimonials or reviews if a client expresses satisfaction. It creates that positive feedback loop.
Yeah, it shows that you're confident in your work and that you value their feedback.
Absolutely. All right. Now, let's say you've established a solid client base and things are going well. Step 7 is about scaling your business.
So you're thinking bigger picture now, how to grow and expand your operation.
Exactly. And the Blog Widow article outlines 3 main strategies for scaling. The first one is outsourcing. If you find yourself with more work than you can handle, you can bring on other VAs to assist you, and you essentially become more of a project manager overseeing a team.
Oh, interesting. So you can create your own little VA agency?
You can. And that can be a really effective way to scale without burning yourself out.
Makes sense. Delegate and conquer.
Delegate and conquer, exactly. The second strategy is specialization. Instead of offering a wide range of services, you focus on one specific area, something that's in high demand, and you become the go-to expert in that area. And that allows you to command higher rates.
So it's about niching down and becoming a specialist in something?
Exactly. And the third option is offering retainer packages. So instead of billing hourly for everything, you offer clients a set of services or a specific number of hours per month for a fixed fee. This gives you more predictable income and it allows clients to budget more effectively.
Yeah, that can be good for both parties. It creates stability and consistency.
It does. And the article gives a great example. They talk about specializing in digital marketing and then offering bundled service packages, maybe including social media management, SEO, email marketing, all for a premium price. So you're leveraging your expertise to create a more comprehensive, higher value offering.
That's smart. It's like creating a package deal that's more attractive to clients than buying each service individually.
It is. It is. So to wrap things up, the journey to becoming a successful VA, as outlined in this Blog Widow article, involves understanding the role, assessing your skills, setting up your workspace and tools, defining your pricing, building your online presence, finding clients, nurturing those relationships, and then scaling your business. It's a journey, but it's one that can be very rewarding both personally and financially.
Yeah, and I think the key takeaway for me is that regardless of whether you offer general support or specialize in something specific, the foundation of success as a VA is delivering exceptional work and building strong relationships with your clients. That's what really matters.
Absolutely. It all comes back to those core values. Now, here's a final thought for you as you continue your deep dive into the world of virtual assistants. With this trend towards remote work showing no signs of slowing down, what do you think the future holds for VAs? How might the role evolve? What new skills and services might emerge? It's definitely an exciting time to be in this space, and I think there's a lot of potential for growth and innovation. So keep exploring, keep learning, and see where this journey takes you.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Thanks for having me. It's been an interesting conversation.
It has. It has. All right, we'll see you all next time.
See you next time.
Bye.